What's up, everyone? Welcome to Finance with Tony. I'm Tony, and here we are sharing some ideas about a frugal lifestyle. Nevertheless, I started this channel with the observation of my city where I live now. It's a capital of Siberia, Novosibirsk city, and on the background you can see the sculpture, the monument of the buste of Kutuzov, the buste of Kutuzov, Mikhail Illarionovich, or Mikhail Illarionovich Kutuzov, who was the leader of Russian army during the Napoleon Wars, the hero and the game changer in the destiny of Russian-French War of 1812. And to give you the scoop, to give you the scoop how significant this legendary leader, military leader, was for Russian culture. I'll give you an example. I learned my first poetry, piece of poetry when I was 2 years old. My first language is Russian, even though I have Jewish roots. I'm Christian Jews, and my five generation of my ancestors have been living here in Siberia. They came to Siberia as pioneers. Nobody was a prisoner. They all came here for farming because it was a land of opportunities in the late of 19th century. So back to my story, main point. When I was just 3 years old, one of the first poems that I learned was Borodino, called Borodino. Borodino is a main battle of Russian-French War, when Russian gave up their capital, Moscow. Not capital, actually. The capital was St. Petersburg at this time frame, back to these days, back then. But the Moscow was the former Russian capital, one of the Russian capitals, and the center of Russian culture and history this time around in the 1912. And Borodino poem, the poem Borodino by Mikhail Lermontov, famous Russian poet of 19th century, is one of the great steps, great pieces of Russian poetry. Mikhail Illarionovich Kutuzov was the legend of the 19th century, and he is still the significant figure in the landscape of Russian culture and in the culture of former Russian Empire, former Soviet Union. On the background you can see the palace of Russian officers. I mean, when I say Russian, of course I mean the country's identity at all. I mean, people speak in 125 different languages, and 25 of them are official. People in Siberia speak in 40 different languages, and 10 of them are official. And of course, it's a melting pot of cultures. It's a mixed bag. On the background, you can see the building of Russian officers. It belongs to military services, and it's near the subway station where I live here in the city of Novosibirsk center. You can see on the background some housing, some buildings, different buildings, and on the background you can see probably the building with columns, this nice 2 floors building with the entrance with columns is one of the most desirable places for young women in the Novosibirsk city, because it's a place where for registration of marriages. It's a part of every marriage here in Novosibirsk city. I mean, we have many of them, many such buildings here, but it's the central one. It's the central one with these columns. I'm pretty sure you can see this because of trees. Let's maybe, yeah. I'll take a short walk to the underground station. I mean, through the subway station. So I'll just figure out. So, as you know, Novosibirsk, the subway in Novosibirsk city is clean and nice, tidy. You won't find here homeless, addicts, and so on and so forth. So on the background you can see the toilet, public toilet. It costs 10 cents. 10 cents. Yes. Yeah. So the subway basically it's an inheritance of Soviet era, communist era. So here we go. We are almost there. Never have been there, but I hope one day I'll cross the fingers. Yeah. So here's some landscape, you know, and I bet I'm looking weird right here, right at the moment for people. So on the background you can see some greenery outside, and also the building of the central place for that that makes the wedding official. I'm not fully sure. I lack of language at this field, I guess. So some columns, pretty nice building, I guess. And for young women who basically bearing with breathing with the idea of marriage and family values and so on. Here it's really important. I mean, even though Russia has really bad figures when it comes to the divorce rate, probably it has something to do with the nature of most marriages, most families. I mean, it's social pressure and often it's also I'll show you also the nice building on the background. It has a really nice area on the first floor for events, small events, cozy events. So it's the building by themselves is nice. So it's 77 degrees Celsius at the moment. So back to my point. Definitely, it has something. Russian high divorce rate, high divorce rate in Russia definitely has, from my point of view, of course, definitely has something to do with European cultures in general. I mean, Siberia is part of Europe, even though it occupies the whole North Asia. So I guess when it comes to the global consumption, when it comes to declining offline relationship and so on and so forth. Russia and Siberia as a classical part of Russia, maybe. I mean, as the main part geographically, it's the main part of Russia. It's Siberia is a 75% of the Russian territory. There is nothing different comparing to Europe. I mean, we have some delay when it comes to Americanization and the crisis of marital institute, but it is what it is. I mean, Russia has average age like 39 years. 39. I mean, it's older than in the United States a little bit, and it's a bit younger population than in Europe. It's much younger than in Japan, which is 47, I believe, years old. But anyway, Russia and Siberia, including Siberia, has definitely a challenging situation when it comes to marital institute, and to give you the scoop about gender relationships. I did mention before that Russia has, and including Siberia, has some inheritance from from communist era, when it was considering that even the housewife can govern the government. if you know this conception that anybody can lead the government, anybody can lead the state, the Soviet Union. It was some sort of part of ideology, and also before Russia has this military traditions when Miss Durova was one of the legend and hero of the Napoleon Wars, and also we have these examples like the founder of Russian Science Academy of Science in the late of 18th century, in the era of Queen Ekaterina the Great. Mrs. or Miss Dashkova, Ekaterina Dashkova was the founder Russian Academic of Science. I mean, female founder. When it comes to emancipation, when it comes to feminism, Russia has hundreds of year historical background, and I guess it's definitely part of European culture. Speaking about a really brief remark about LGBT, about different identity, gender identity. It's often I know that the main statement that Russia has, or Siberia has, sort of stigma about untraditional gender identity or something like that, but I would argue that being Siberian native, I mean not native Siberian, because native Siberian it's like a Native American, but being sort of classical exam. I belong to the Russian culture, obviously, and I would argue that this it's partially a misconception. I mean, definitely. For instance, one of my first bosses, which it was in 2002, was the different identity. I mean, he was a gay, but it had nothing to do with our professional interactions on something like that. And I know that Russian culture, as part of European culture, is really open, and it definitely has a lot of flexibility in terms of many things, and when it comes to real human relationships, I know that many diversity you'll find definitely at least in metropolitan areas, and I guess also as a matter of fact, it's safe to say that the different gender identity is not forbidden in Russia. Russian law says that you can oppress other people. You can't make sort of pressure to other individuals to change their identity, you know, especially when it comes to minors. So it's my point of view on this. I could be wrong, and I mean it could be, you'll find probably different examples in such huge place, in such melting pot of cultures as Russia, with a melting pot of cultures as Russia. You'll find different examples, maybe worse, maybe unpleasant situations, but I bet that all these incidents will have something to do with ignorance. You know, ignorant people everywhere. You can find ignorant people everywhere, and just like this. I believe when it comes to intelligent people, educated people, well-educated people, you'll find a lot of flexibility, and there is no stigma in terms of different gender or any other identities. So at this point, again, thanks for coming along. Thanks for watching. Remember to subscribe. Feel free to press thumbs up, and hopefully see you in the next video. Have a great day. Have an awesome day, guys.